Okay, here's a very interesting set of circumstances for the June Zyac messages. We have F and U coming about often. Notice there's a space. Always a space or dashed line, or it's at the beginning and the end. Do we find FU 4 times? That's an indication of anger, because that's exactly what that means. It's F life U. So here's one instance. We had Aries, F life U. Okay, there's another message here. Combining all the messages, we have another message, at least one, from Zyac. And it's basically, you got a lot of anger, and it was, you know, I admit it myself, but it's for the whole planet. So anyway, that's the first time. Let's go on to the next one. This second one is Taurus. There's a break here. Actually, this one is a break or not. This could be a break. Actually, what it said was, if you look at the first video that created this message, there was a blank space and an F, and in the video I asked, is this, which one's first, and it said there, either one. So you put this one over here and you put this one over here. So this F can be in this spot, and then the blank can also be in this spot, and the F over here. So here's another FU. It's an F blank U, or an FU 0075, signed the evil ones. So this is the second one. So we have another set of FU. There's another anger indication. But it also means, and the board, if you look at 1B, that explains it, Taurus 1B, it'll show on the board, there's a trinity. It says U, U, 7, and then 5 is up here, 5th dimension. And it's a trinity. U, 7, 5th dimension. 7 is your magnificent 7. For you, magnificent 7 to the 5th dimension. There's a space between the 5th dimension because it seems so far away. It seems impossible to get there, doesn't it? At times. So for you, the magnificent 7 to take you to the 5th dimension. And you're part of that team. Maybe you are one of the magnificent 7. That's the case it is with me. And you might want to try that out. That way you're more of a participant. So there's another FU. This one isn't, but it's Gemini, and it's very inspiring. And I also got some other indication. But this one, that's 2 we have with FU, but this one doesn't, and I want to talk about it more anyway. BT, this is, I was clued in. I go to sleep school. Sometimes it takes a couple of classes before I get it, but this is BT toxin. Knockout, extermination, victory. So there's a BT toxin the evil ones are doing, and it's killing the bees, it's killing all of us, and they're probably putting it in the gasoline. I don't doubt that. Am I giving them any ideas? Sorry. I think they've already done it, because I smell some weird stuff in the gasoline. And this is extremely toxic. It's pesticides, and they can consider us pests, so that's how it works for them. It doesn't work at all. But anyway, we're supposed to knock out the extermination victory. That's our job. Knock out the extermination victory. Here's the other thing. B, total knockout. 15th round. We're in the 15th round right now. B, the total knockout. 15th round. Gemini, that's happening right now because that's the time we're in right now. Gemini time. And V is the peace sign. You can go over the rest of it. I have the rest of it on the 1B, Gemini 1B. You can review that. But I wanted to show that one because that's a really exciting one, and that's what's happening right now. That's June 10th today. Here's another one, F, AJ. Every time I mention J, and I tell them, look, J stands for victory for me because I recognize Zyac, which is part of the name I had as a Sikh when I was involved with the Sikhs. And part of my name was Zyac, victory. So every time F of victory, F of victory, every time Zyac comes up, it's FU. So F of victory is FU, basically. And that's the third FU we have, and that one happens to be the full length of it. But there's a sub one there too. So this one, no, this is the one that has the there's another FU. F victory U. I used Zyac again. So this is basically Zyac anticipating people would say, look, he's not using English. FJU, F victory U. So that he's anticipating, so he's the fire, putting out the fire. Zyac from Zyac. Or it's she, however you want to do it. You have your own Zyac. So, but in this case it's, anyway. So that's that. Zyac happens to be my male top guide. So you can read about Zyac in the what is it? You can just go to the Zyac page of my website and you'll read about the whole story. But this is another one. So this is the fourth one out of 12, and there's the dotted line. So it's at the beginning and the end of that section. See, so every time it's at the beginning and the end of a section, even if it's only just two. But the next one is amazing because Zyac turns it all around, and this was the next. Q is your ultra-dimensional science and invention team, and they far surpass anything that's on this planet, any secret government tyrannical science team, which it is. They steal inventions in the name of national security here and use them against everyone to this control freakness. So anyway, it's okay to question QK, okay. But Q is also your science team, ultra-dimensional, beyond anything they can even dream of. So Q is okay. Dotted line. But look at this, instead of FU, it's Q to U. QU. I was playing billiards when I was a kid. We had a pool table in the basement, and it's when you take the pool cue, like this pointer here, and you put chalk on the tip. You put chalk on the tip so you don't scratch. So we're queuing up is what we're doing, and you use your ultra-dimensional team, and Q, fifth dimension U. Q is for that, fifth dimension U. Your science team, your ultra-dimensional science team. So instead of FU, it's QU. And look at 1B on Aquarius. You will be as shocked at what it shows on there. And I forget but all of these have messages just by looking at the Zyac board where the buttons are, and it has a very profound positive effect on for watching that. So go and look at all the 1Bs there. You'll see amazing stuff. Now here's the last one. This is the last one I did, the last zodiac sign I did, Pisces. It's the only one that contains the Z, the Zyac. 0 point balance, 0 point energy, free energy. For why? I, meaning Zyac, it's from Zyac. For why? I, Q, balance, balances. Or you could look at it this way, I and Q balance. For why I and Q, the ultra dimension, the galactic citizenry, balance. Signed Z, Zyac. He signed the whole thing afterwards because it's all his. So for why IQ balance. That brings me to another point, but I guess I'll talk about it now since I got it my own personal message from my guides. I'm gonna pause here for a minute and get back to you because I have to write it out. So one day back in May of 2012, Pete's coffee shop was giving out access codes, and here's one of the access codes I got. But when did I get this? I got this right after I talked to a police officer and handed him some material that might enlighten him. And part of the material said this, and these are quotes from the handbook I read. And here's the quote: entrapment techniques. As all-encompassing as they appear, they are inventions of opposite focus, and thus contain the elements of self-destruction. End quote. That was one of the portions. Here's another portion of the material I gave him. These contrived situations are a hoax created by subversive groups like the CIA. And then I got this. Right after I'd given him that packet, I went over to Pete's and I got this one. You sixed him. So I wasn't quite sure what, I knew the term 86, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. I knew it was a mob term. So I looked it up online. It's 86 means 80 miles out and 6 feet under. Well, the secret government, basically, all the mobsters have gone into it. And it's now a big mob. And that's all your spy groups and everything. It's fully that. And I was showing this to people of who were spies, and I highly suspected. They didn't believe me. A couple of people, it wasn't too many. And so a couple weeks went by, and the spies, you know, everywhere spies, and felt like I'm all alone. But here's the let me see if I can pull it down. So this one came up a couple weeks later, and I showed this to them, and they believed me. F86U. Everything that's created is created by the source. The source has access to anything the evil ones have access to. And the source can do the elimination. It's called Shiva, if it has to. And I recommend looking at the blue lights over Dallas, Vermont Technology. Some ETs, what happened was there's blue lights over Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas area, and it was where the scientists had stolen the Vermont technology from Afghanistan. They took it out and brought it over to Dallas Fort Worth. All of a sudden these blue flashes and UFOs in the sky, and the report is 500 or 600 scientists dead. The Vermont technology, they will not allow us to have it. So you can look at that too. Vermont UFO, Dallas Fort Worth lights, Fort Worth, Texas. So that's the rundown for the June messages from Zyac.